The presentation of today's racing program is a copyrighted broadcast of the New York Racing Association, Incorporated. Any rebroadcast, recreation, or retransmission of this broadcast without the expressed written consent of the New York Racing Association, Incorporated is strictly prohibited.
Ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, please stand for our national anthem. And they're off. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Saratoga Racecourse on this day number 17 of the 40-day meet. Mostly cloudy skies right now. The main track is fast. The turf courses are good, with the portable rail up at 18 feet on the inner turf and at 27 feet on the melon turf. We have a jackpot carryover in the Empire 6 of $1,129,427. Today, the Empire 6 will start in race number 5. In today's first race, we have overweights. These horses will carry 2 pounds over. Numbers 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Second race, couple of scratches there. Scratch 3, Chasing a Legacy, and 5, Supercomputer. Scratch 3 and 5, and all horses will be 1 pound over. In today's third race, these scratches: Scratch 1, Mozienko; 2, Music of Life; Scratch 4, Gentle Annie; 5, Puffery; and 10, Gracetown. In the third, Scratch 1, 2, 4, 5, and 10. In the fourth race, scratch number 2, Cherokee Song. Scratch the 2. Note that number 5, Halo City, will run with cheek pieces on. Cheek pieces on the 5. And all horses are 2 pounds over. In the fifth race, which starts that Empire 6, number 5 is 2 pounds over. In the sixth race, Scratch number 5, Royal Approval. Scratch the 5, and all horses will be 1 pound over. 7th race, scratch number 4, Stay Fond. Scratch the 4, Stay Fond. In race 8, scratch number 6, Fight on Lucy. Scratch the 6. And numbers 1, 4, and 7 will carry 2 pounds over. The featured 9th race is the 115th running of the Grade 2 Saratoga Special presented by Miller Lite. Scratch number 11, Roderick. Scratch the 11, Roderick. And in today's 10th race, with the exception of number 1, all horses are 1 pound over. And 2 scratches in the 10th. Scratch 3, Princess Leia, and 11, Lady Commissioner. In the 10th, scratch numbers 3 and 11. The main track is fast. The turf courses are good. Empire 6 jackpot carryover stands at $1.1 million, and there is a mandatory payout in the Empire 6 this coming Sunday, August the 9th. Tomorrow is Run Happy Travers Day here at Saratoga, and please note, the first race post on Saturday will be at 12 noon. We'll have a 12-race card, 5 stakes, 3 Grade 1s, highlighted by the Run Happy Travers, and a first race post on Saturday of 12 noon. First race post today is at 1:10. We'll be back at 12:30 to recap the changes. And again, the first race post on this Friday is 1:10. Up next, Serling and Stabile. They are talking horses.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Talking Horses, presented by Saratoga Water. I know, I'm not holding it right, Anthony, but I'm doing the best I can here. Anyhow, we begin Travers Weekend. I think we officially begin Travers Weekend this Friday. It's the Run Happy Travers. We run tomorrow, the 11th race of a 12-race card. And keep in mind, from 5 to 6:30, we will be covering all our races on Big Fox. Tomorrow we'll be on all day, 11:30 until 7, on assorted networks, including Fox Sports 1, FS1, and FS2. But Big Fox from 5 to 6:30 tomorrow, covering the Run Happy Travers, the test with Gamine, as well as the LEIHA, the race before that. Anthony Stabile will be joining me in just a moment, but you have some work to do. If you're not a member of NYRA Bets, it is time. Think about how much fun you're about to have watching Anthony and I scream at each other for the next 50 minutes. You really should be a member of NYRA Bets. You should be supporting racing in New York to take advantage of that the incredible amount of wit that's going to come out of my mouth, less so from Anthony. Use the promo code SPA. We'll match up to $200 of your initial deposit. Go to NYRABets.com. Support racing in New York State. If you're playing through NYRA Bets this weekend and every weekend through the app only, you get a $5 bonus if you bet 25 or more to win in our last race, as well as the 4th at Del Mar. And keep in mind, on NYRA Bets, you can bet the tracks all around this country, all around the world. Also want to remind people that this Sunday, assuming that the Empire 6 jackpot's not taken down, there were a couple alive in the last race yesterday. I think one had the early lead, as a matter of fact. We will be giving all of that away. It'll probably be around $1.5 million by Sunday. This Sunday, mandatory payout. Also, this Sunday and every Sunday, the NYRA Bets contest. You must be a member of NYRA Bets to play. It's $250 to buy in, all cash prizes, and we'll be seeding those pools this weekend and all weekends with $2,500. Register now at NYRA.com/challenge. And finally, last but not least, every day, all day, Saratoga Live, Fox Sports. Watch it all summer long, all the action at Saratoga. Head over to NYRA.com/Saratoga Live to get the schedule of all the networks that will be showing us, MSG Plus, and all the networks. Anthony?
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Anthony bought me dinner last night. Had a lovely dinner. We had a nice time.
Yes, we
Really
did.
did. Yeah,
Had a
sitting
great
outside.
time as always.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. You're proud
Thank
of yourself.
you.
You ready to go? We got 10 to
Very
talk
good.
about today.
Well, you're the one that's
No
talking about
dilly-dallying
dinner.
around today.
You just brought up dinner.
I just wanted to compliment you on buying a nice dinner for myself.
It was good. It was good.
It was. It was very nice. The company was the best part. Race number 1, it's that eternal question in racing as we take a look at Klickitat's last race where, I mean, I don't want to knock him and say he snatched defeat from the jaws of victory because I actually thought, Anthony, I think you'll agree.
Kind of just did.
He ran very well in this race.
He did.
No, he really did. And, you know, if you took this race in isolation, he'd be 3-5 in here, and you wouldn't have any reservations. The problem is he's got 5 seconds in 9 starts. He's been a short price in quite a few of them. But I think he's found the right field today. And I got to tell you, I would like our friend Jimmy Jerkins to get a win here at Saratoga. It's been a tough year so far for Jimmy, but he's too good a trainer to keep losing races.
5 seconds. Head, 3/4 of a length. Head, head. I'm never going to pick these horses. I'm going to use them defensively, and you only pick 5.
Never's a wrong word.
Well,
there
I
there
never
are
say
times,
never.
especially
There's
the
no
winter,
absolutes.
but, you know, in
I
general,
don't deal
we
in
pick
any
against them.
absolutes, right? More
As
often
I do,
than
too,
not,
as you know.
I do. And I honestly cannot blame you for picking this one. I just
Thank
couldn't
you.
do. I couldn't.
I feel
do
much
it.
better.
I
But
couldn't do
you
it.
had an alternative. As soon as you saw that Bill Mott was in the race, it became very easy for you. You could just transfer your love to Bill Mott, self-made. All I'm going to say about this horse, and he might win, he's lightly raced. That was some
That
field
was some
he was
bunch
in
last
last time. I mean,
I didn't have any defense for it either. It was the first start off a 6-month break. I'm hoping he can improve off that. He's going to need to beat Klickitat. And that's really, to me,
the alternatives are minimal.
that was the race.
Well, I mean, the 6 Spiritual King at one time ran respectfully for Todd Pletcher. I don't know. Transferred to Greg Sacco, did no running last time, albeit in a sprint. I don't know, man. I mean, he got a fast pace last time. He could have picked up a couple of lengths, and I don't even know how good he was for Todd Pletcher. And with all due respect to Greg Sacco, he's not Todd Pletcher.
Yeah.
And the 7 Petrus I've tried, blinkers on, get a little faster. But at the end of the day, this horse is verging on the territory of questioning whether it's not a thoroughbred at this point.
I'm hoping that a horse like Spiritual King, who has some speed, obviously last time in the sprint he wasn't going to show his speed.
I think at one time.
Yeah, I'm hoping
seemed to have
that
some.
stretching back out can kind of bring self-made into the race, get over, maybe save a little
Well,
ground.
I don't think your horse is that slow.
He's not.
Anthony. I mean,
he's not, but you know, I'd rather not have to
Wouldn't you want Junior to try to be in front if he could without
No.
going too fast?
I'm
No.
going to tell you why. Because I don't think he can get the lead over Clickadat or Spiritual King if they want
Right, because
it.
everybody goes.
No, but I'm just
shouldn't he
saying-
go and see if they're going?
I think he should go and hope Spiritual King goes and
No, I think he should go and hope Spiritual King doesn't go, and he can clear.
sit off?
If he
Oh.
does go, then he can sit off him. But I think
he's gonna. You think Clickadat's going to give up rail?
I didn't say he's going to, but I think that every rider should be going forward at the gate
Yeah.
and establish their
No, no,
position
no.
based on where the others go. Think of some of those races. Think of Jose Lezcano wiring the field on She Belongs to Daddy, winning with a horse that could never be in front, but because he's getting his position going forward, he ended up in front with a slow horse.
I just don't want to wind up 3 wide on the turn.
You're missing my discussion. You're
understand your
assuming I'm
discussion.
saying something I'm not.
No, you're saying that he should leave forward.
And if the others don't go to the
Right,
front.
go
And
to
if
the
they
front,
do,
right.
then get his position behind. I'll give
Okay.
you a similar example. Tyler Gaffleone yesterday on the favorite in the stake. He left to get the lead. When others went, he got in right behind them.
Yeah.
So that's the way you get
He
your
could do
position
that.
going forward.
Yeah, he could do that.
Race number 2. Not a lot to go on in race number 2. We'll take a look. I think we have a replay in here of Cotton and Looking for Trouble. Like you, I settled for the horse Looking for Trouble who had the lead. I don't know about the firsters. I don't know if you know anything about them, but I'm going to take the speed horse in this race. I don't think this horse ran that badly.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the firsters. I do know that 2 of my favorite pop culture references of all time. Cobra Kai, of course, is the villain in Karate Kid.
Of course.
Behind Daniel LaRusso.
Of course.
And for my fellow Game of Thrones fans, Sandor Clegane is the Hound from Game of Thrones, the number 4. I like...
So wait, so we've got the Karate Kid and
Game of Thrones. The only thing
Think
missing is,
Johnny
like-
I's going to pick up on those references?
I'll have a conversation with him if he does.
If it's not a Frank Sinatra song, I
should
don't know if
reference
Johnny's
the
going to
Sandor.
get any
If
vague cultural
Sandor
references.
Clegane wins, he could say that he hounded them or something like that. I don't know.
You're just looking to help everybody. You're
That's
like,
what I do.
mean, you're like a modern day Santa Claus.
This is,
You
I
really
am.
are.
I am. I'm the Italian Santa Claus.
Without the beard.
Without the beard. But the beard comes in the winter.
No
Looking for
white-
trouble.
No white hair, but you're working on it.
I got a little. Keep
Sitting with me.
I keep sitting here.
Full head of white hair by
I'll
2021.
look like Santa Claus. Looking for trouble. Had the lead last time. Now, he went 5.5. And I think that's important to note that this race, too, is at 5.5. So it kind of
You're big on
helps
distances.
the
I'm
cause.
just having
I know
fun.
you're not. Especially with the 2-year-olds, I think it helps that he has the experience going this far. He got tired late in the game. Can't really blame him. He went a pretty solid half, 45 and change. And I just think he keeps going today.
I mean, obviously it depends on the firsters. We've got the Lauban firster 7-7. We've seen a Lauban win already this year.
On the turf going long, though.
Yeah, they paid $77,000 at 10 and a fifth work. It was kind of a weird work. He was lugging in, but I think the fact that he went as quickly as he did, given his behavior, and you imagine Kelly Breen probably had a chance with him to straighten things out. Could be live. I think a lot of it depends on how live these horses really are in here. You got the Mike Stidham first-time starter. It seems to be a little more turf on the Game of Thrones horse. And you know who Cobra Kai is a have to?
Sandor Clegane.
Do you know who Cobra Kai is a have to?
I don't.
So disappointing, isn't it? You see what I have to put up with?
Who is it?
One of my favorite horses, one of my pets.
Cross Run Kid?
No. Durkin's Call.
Oh, yes, I did see that last night.
Yeah, for Durkin's
I
Call.
did see that.
Race number 3, a big scratch
Last
in
night, Tuesday night.
Race number 3 when Music of Life. Stop pretending.
Dude,
Race
these
number
were up
one-
on Wednesday, I think.
Whatever. Race number 3, a big scratch when Music of Life came out in here. And, you know, I changed my picks because I don't want to pick Sun Summers, we'll take a look at here, because even though it's a claim by Mike Maker, this horse beat a very weak field and also got an absolute dream trip, spending almost the entire race on the rail before angling out. And this is when the rails were down the inner, and it was a huge bias. This horse might win at a short price, but I don't want to take this horse, Anthony.
The way the race, to me, sets up is going to sit behind Bean Counter in here, especially now down to 5. You know, it was just supposed
Isn't
to get...
Tiz Kitten supposed to go in here? Stretching out from sprints? Why would Louis Cardenas give up the lead?
Then even better than he's sitting third behind 2 horses.
You think... Oh, Sun Summers is going to be sitting third.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah.
She's a horse to beat. I mean, she is. But
I had no...
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was looking at your race 2 picks, and I thought you actually picked the 7
No,
here.
I have no...
I can't take this horse, Anthony.
Okay.
Off of that trip at a short price.
That's
She
fine.
is probably
See-
going to win. I'm not against it, but I don't need her.
Okay.
I don't need her. She is not very good. She looks better on paper than she is. Let me put it. How did Positive Skew run the other day?
Awful.
And she had a rail
Listen,
trip too.
I'm not making a big case for this filly.
Yeah.
I'm not.
And
she's supposed to beat these horses.
I guess. I mean, listen, why is she better than Bean Counter? And I don't like Bean Counter.
know
I
you're not a
hated her
Bean
last
Counter
time.
fan.
I mean, let me ask you a question. If you looked up Perfect Trip in the racing dictionary, they could put her video up, huh?
And how about Corey Scores didn't have the cleanest trip that day? There were a couple of other trips in there. Yeah, I mean, she got the clean trip and she got the money.
Isn't it fair to argue with her, and I'm obviously not her biggest fan, that she did face a better field than the number 6 Sun Summers did last time?
Yeah.
Sun Summers faced a very, very
Yeah,
hungry
I would
field
agree
last
with that.
time.
I
I
would
think
agree
that,
with
you know, I mean, Princess Fauza came back and ran fine. So, and you're right, the Corey Scores had a bit of trouble in that race, and she had a dream trip. But she shouldn't have won, but she did, and this is an easier field, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's an easier field. I just, you know, I like the claim to make her, too.
Yeah, I get it, but she's going to be super short, and I don't need her off that phonied-up last race. She did do something horses rarely do, which is win a race in New York for Jane Stabile. Seeking revenge, she has been running in absolutely ludicrous spots in her recent races. Now, I understand you could argue that she's been drawn along in these races by her competition, but the race behind Patriot Gem, who would probably beat this field, she was right behind her, and I thought she ran fine that day.
She just won the other day at Monmouth.
She did. And, you know, I know she's slow.
They
That
have
worries
6
me
there
a little
today at
bit.
Monmouth.
6? I heard
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
6 there.
6, like every Friday. She's just faced better horses. I think that they've been unrealistic with her. I like John Stevens. I think he's a very under-the-radar trainer. And I ultimately, when they scratched the 2, I moved her up as my top choice because I didn't want to have the 6 and 9 as my first 2 choices because I think they're both vulnerable at short prices.
The last 2 times she ran for a tag against Philly, she won. They brought her back off the layoff, and it was a waiver claim race, and it was against Colts. So my assumption is they just wanted to take the free ride with the waiver and get her fit and run her once. That would be my assumption. I could be wrong, but yeah, I mean, like I said,
You know what happens when you assume?
Yeah, I do. I can't make a case for any of them in here. I defaulted to first.
You've got her
time
behind
maker.
Cape Cod Diva. Can I bet you a lunch that
No.
she beats Cape Cod
I
Diva?
told you, no.
We're
I
down to
have no-
55. You won a lunch yesterday.
I know I did.
Big win for you. You're going to hold on to that win for like a little while?
Maybe
I'll
it
goad
might
you.
be a lunch bet a
I'll
little
goad
later
you
on.
into something today. Race number 4. Race number 4 is a tricky race because it's very hard to love the horses that have run in general in this race. And David's got baseline drive 7-5 in here. Are you really? I've got this horse second. You've got her on top. Are you sure she's any kind of racehorse?
No. But we'll go to another. There were a lot of defaults today. The other default is the default to Chad in a race where.
Yeah,
I
but
know
you
what
and the
you're
public are going to default
I
to this
know,
horse.
I
That's
know.
the problem.
I know what you're saying about maybe hot button, maybe mischief
Well, let's
range.
stick with baseline
There's-
drive. Let's stay on topic for a moment.
I don't know how much of a topic there
What
is.
did you think of this horse? Well, you picked this horse, and the horse is 7-5
I mean,
morning
the
line.
horse is coming up for. It's the second start. Horse was 4-5 against State Breds last time down in Florida.
Right. You're now making a
Hung
case to
around.
bet against her, not on her.
I'm not making. I'm making a case that she has a race under her belt. I'm assuming she's going to improve second time.
Why?
Like most
She was
horses
bet on
do.
the. Not for Chad Brown, they don't. When they're bet first time,
Andy, is she not supposed to be? Let me ask you a question.
Anthony.
Based on just what you see in front of you when she runs first time out, Chad Brown.
She was in a state bred maiden special.
She's still in. She's not supposed to be 4-5. See,
I don't know what she's supposed to be. I know what she was, and she stunk.
yeah, but you see, I don't. I'm pointing out that she was 4-5, but I don't necessarily believe. Maybe she should have been 4-5, and maybe these are all points against.
Clearly, she
what
shouldn't
I'm
have been
trying to
4-5. She
say.
lost. She
Maybe
filled
these
out
are
the
all
super.
Maybe these are all points against picking her.
Right.
today.
That's what the problem I'm having is the argument you seem to be giving here is anti her, yet you
Where
picked her.
do you want to go?
Well, we'll get there, but all I'm saying is you've picked a horse that's 7-5 morning line that you are making a case to bet against.
But
That's a problem.
But if she improves, right?
If she improves, this is a trainer who's as good with turf time starters in turf routes as any trainer in the history of racing.
I understand that.
Seriously.
But the horses also, in general, improve second time.
Not a lot for him. When Chad Brown has him ready first time, they run.
When was the last time you think Chad Brown saw this filly when she debuted?
April, whenever he came north.
Okay. So 3 months.
I get it. I know what you're saying, but this is a
No
barn
offense
that
to
wins.
whoever ran her. I'm just saying.
Anthony, let's go back to an argument you made more recently.
The Monmouth?
She's stable at Monmouth.
Yeah,
so
but
let me ask you.
that's more for me. Hold on.
She works
That's more
August
the
1st.
firsters.
So Chad
That's
Brown
more the firsters.
saw her when she shipped up here, which may have been yesterday. I mean, you're making too many cases against her for a horse you picked. You have yet to make a coherent case for her.
She's second time.
What did you think of her first race? What happened first time out?
Nothing. I don't think anything of
Okay,
the
she
first race.
jumped up at the start
My
and broke a
opinion
step
is,
slow.
But here's my opinion.
I want to say what happened.
I want to know what she has to beat today.
Better horses than her. She might win. I'm not going to be shocked when she does. But you're not making a good case for a horse you picked at 7-5 on top. She jumped up
And
at the
I told
start.
you I didn't have a real case for her.
She jumped up at the start, broke a length and plus slow, and totally dropped out of the race. After that, I actually thought that Edgar's Eyes did a good job of getting her in a position. She had nothing in the stretch. And the thing I don't like is she kind of galloped out past the other horses, which to me is not a particularly great sign. It meant that they were doing the running in the race. She wasn't interested. I won't be surprised when she wins. She's not beating good horses. But at 7-5, she's a very dubious selection.
You also do know that the other point about Chad having the horses ready first time out, in the last 19 months, I always do that the wrong way.
You know why?
He's 35%. Second time.
You know why? He had a lot of bad horses he started, didn't we? Second time. What about how many of them horses won first time out?
No, maiden second start, 35%.
Okay.
With a positive ROI.
Okay, over the last 17 months.
Over the last 19 months at 114 starters. That's a good number.
You're correct. You really think if this horse was good, she wouldn't have won first time out?
Andy, I'm not telling you she's the next Lady
so
Eli.
your defense of
I'm
her
telling
is
you I think
that
she's going to get out of the maiden
in
ranks
TRA.
today.
She might. She's a horrendous bet at 7-5. The truth is, if Halo City runs back to her first race in the turf, she's an extraordinarily like winning the race, and I don't think she's going to be 4-1 here. I think she's going to be shorter. I hope she is 4-1.
What happened last time?
I don't know. She was bad. I don't disagree. I'm going to tell you something.
That was a good trip last time.
Maybe it wasn't. Maybe she doesn't want to be forward. Maybe she doesn't want to be forward. Maybe, as it turns out, she's a little bit better when she gets to run. Maybe she's better one-turn horse, as it turns out, which is going to be a problem today as well.
Here's my only problem with that argument. The only problem with that argument is the one time she came from off the pace, it was by accident because she got bothered at the start.
Can I bet you and lay you 3-2 that she beats Kemba?
That Halo City beats Kemba?
Yes.
No. Okay. I told you I don't have a real opinion here.
Well, but we still have a race to discuss. Here's the problem with Kemba. A lot of people are going to see the switch from Raylu Gutierrez to Joel Rosario. And as much as we like Raylu, on the surface things, that's a very good switch. And I don't think Raylu would disagree. The problem is Joel couldn't have ridden this horse as well as Raylu did last time out. And in a very weak field, this horse still got no better than third. So she can't get a better ride in this race than she got from Raylu.
I don't disagree with that, but if you're right, let's just assume you're right, and they try to take Halo City, they don't make her forward today.
Or they let her find her position.
Right, they let her find her position. Why can't Kemba steal this on the front end?
Because she's not very good. She will be on front.
You might be right.
But she's not good enough.
But is anything really going to surprise you in here?
No, you're right about Kemba being the speed. That's true.
That's why I put
but
a second.
How is your she's going to get in front of them opinion been on turf races?
But listen, all I'm saying is, in a race
she's supposed to be in front here.
I'm not sold on the rest of them. She may be able to steal away, and she's going to be half the price.
What about the firsters? I think a lot of you are going to follow them. See, I think Mischief Reigns is the one that has the better turf pedigree, and that's going to be the bigger price for Tommy Albertrani.
Yeah.
So I kind of prefer that one in a funny way to better price. And I'll show you a stat.
Half the
for
red
Brad
right
Cox. That's right. Yeah, Tom Morley horse, a nice horse as well. It's a fourth full hot pot. And Brad Cox doesn't have that many maiden claim or first-time starters. Doesn't really win with them. He's 0-2 at Naira. He does have a second at 9-2. Though I won't be surprised this horse is going to win. $170,000 two-year-old purchase, running for $75,000. Look, the firsters have to be. I think if you're playing multis, you've got to use both firsters because nobody in here seems very reliable. And you're right. My horse Halo City stunk last time. I absolutely agree with you.
You know
she
what?
Was awful.
I will take 3-2.
Okay.
I will take 3-2.
I told you I could goad him into a bet.
I will take 3-2.
I had to lay Frank 50-1 that I could goad you into a bet today.
I will lay 3-2.
Okay. 55.
I will take 3-2. I mean,
how you doing today, Anth?
I'm good.
Did you get a good night's sleep?
I could. You're asking me to be Perry Mason in races I don't have an opinion in.
Perry Mason?
Yeah, man.
You been watching it on HBO?
I haven't. But
I don't have HBO up here.
Popped in. That's what I have. I have all 7 HBOs in the hotel.
I don't have TCM. That bothers me. Anyhow, race number
I don't
5.
have the Hallmark Channel. I missed all my Christmas in July movies.
It's a shame. It's a shame.
No bueno.
Race number 7. Race number 5. The 7. Race
You
number
wish
5.
it was the 7th.
We'll take a look at the correction to begin, and we'll start with the break, where Bridlewood Cat blew the break and would have won if she hadn't. And then we'll look at one of the longest stretch runs in the history of 6-furlong stake races.
How
She
about
really
that?
stumbled badly. And obviously, Bridlewood Cat should have won. I bet Pieni Bianchi, so I was lucky. This is not a whine,
When
but
the
any
jock,
respect.
when the jock pulls like the Jack in the Box
Yeah, I
going
know.
forward, those are not good stumbles.
The problem with her is, first of all, this was an ugly race. It's one of the last races we ran at Aqueduct. We ran one more day.
One more day. Yeah.
The problem is that the Jonathan Thomas horses are just not running.
Not
And
running.
He is a very streaky trainer. Very hot, very cold. And right now, they're not running a step.
She didn't take a dime in the turf race last time.
Well, it was a prep.
But
She's not-
yeah,
no,
don't
she
you
has
feel
no
like
turf
that was a
pedigree.
little, you don't feel like it was a little desperation
No.
there? You think he was just
I
getting
think it
her
was a
legs
prep.
back under?
Yeah.
Okay.
See if she could handle the turf.
I'll buy
but-
that.
Yeah.
I'll
I'm
buy
going
that.
to give him that one. She
I'll
had
buy
no
that.
shot in that race. She should have been 50 to 1 in there.
I'll buy that. But I mean, they're not running.
They're not running. She can win, but they're not really running.
Right. Her best race puts her in the winner's circle.
You know, it's not even
Not even
it's not
close.
even close.
Yeah,
well,
but-
except I'm going to say something. If Ska Mania, and I know she's a 5-year-old and she's got more history of not running that well than she does of running well, but if she runs this race at Churchill Downs, she'd be tough if Bridlewood Cat was in good form. This was a suicidal pace that she was on top of. And she lost to good horses in Unique Factor and Risky Mandate. And Risky Mandate should have won. She had trouble at the start. But she also took advantage of the pace that fell apart in this race. Now, this was a superior effort by her. The other speeds, one of them finished last at 16 to 1. Another horse ran poorly as well. This was a total meltdown. These are the kind of horses that are supposed to come back and win. She draws well on the outside, but she's faster than these, man. There are no particularly fast horses
And
on
she
paper.
wasn't, when you watch that replay, she wasn't fading from the scene.
No.
She got past, and she held the rest of them off.
But she ran
They could have
great.
went around there again. She was going to hold the rest of them off. You kind of felt that way. Like, she was standing her ground. Yeah,
It doesn't count that I ran to Al Stall when I was walking into dinner last night?
No,
It has to be today.
I told you, the night
It's gotta
before
be
doesn't count.
Now, what if it's 1 in the morning?
After midnight.
Okay, so after midnight.
It's
if I
not
ran
about
into it.
sleep. It's about the clock.
So at like 12:01, if I start carousing Barnes and I happen to run into a trainer,
we have
bet that guy's horses the next day.
ordinarily have a poker game at my house on New Year's Eve.
Who's the biggest fish in the game?
After the
Don't say. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
okay. Those earnings count towards the new year
When you win.
when I win.
When you
Mom
win.
usually wins all the money.
I want to talk about Honor Way in here because we were just saying yesterday how Charlie Baker hasn't run the many horses. I love this filly because she's honest. She seems to run well every time. And if Scamania doesn't repeat her best effort, why can't she win this race? And I don't know if she'll be 5 to 1. She always seems to get lost. What's wrong with her?
I do believe it's another one of these affairs here at Saratoga that you can make a case for almost any of them.
I don't like Vast.
I don't either, but
Or is
she
it
broke
Vost?
Her,
You
it's
haven't- you
Vast.
don't
She
watch
broke,
Seinfeld.
she broke her maiden here. I mean, she's probably the reach, but you know, if there's a pace, Slimy loves Saratoga last year. You can make
No. Slimy likes Saratoga because she also found the right fields
Yeah,
when
but
she was in Saratoga.
what I'm saying is-
and let me just say something else. Let's no. This is important. We need to get away from horses that like Saratoga.
I don't disagree, 'cause of the new surface, 'cause of
There's
the
a
new
new
surface,
surface
yeah.
here. So horses, if you think they like the Saratoga surface, that voodoo, get it out of your
But
head
there
for
have
this
been
year.
a lot of cases made for horses succeeding up here.
Because they like the weather. The
Because they're
problem
away
is
from the hustle
she
and
didn't
bustle
run
and
any
they like
better
the
in
weather.
those Saratoga races
No,
than she ran at other racetracks.
I got
She just
it.
found the
I
right
got it.
fields.
But
she didn't improve up here. She didn't improve. It's important to note that.
But if any of these horses won today, would you be?
I'd be surprised if Slimy won.
Would you
I'd
be
surprised
Manifest
if,
Destiny shocked? No.
I've gotten over that shock.
I'm
I'm
just
going to
saying,
start
would
a
you be
poll on
Manifest
Twitter.
Destiny
I'm going to
shocked?
start a poll on Twitter.
What's the
Whether or
poll?
not people believe that Anthony should have to watch all Seinfelds, or at least the first 5 years when it
you
was
can poll.
still
Listen, let me
funny.
explain something to you. You can poll whoever you want to poll. I'm not watching it. I don't like it.
He would love it. And everybody knows.
I
it. The
don't
guy
like it.
makes
I've
more
tried. I've
references
tried.
there.
People have
He
tried
did
to
not-
get me into
did
it. I don't
not
like
try.
it.
Did not try. He's a very stubborn man. You see what I have to deal with? Let's take a break. I'll work
need
on him during the
water.
break, see what happens.
I might need something else. with
Talking
this
Horses
Saratoga
presented
water
by
before the
Saratoga
day's
Water.
over.
We'll be right back.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Did you miss us?
Just so you know, it didn't stop when the cameras went off.
Well, we were discussing Brussels sprouts and string beans, if you want us to be perfectly honest, but that's a conversation for another time. Welcome back to Talking Horses. I'm Anthony Stabile, Talking Horses.
No, he's Andy Serling. I'm Anthony Stabile.
I said you're Anthony
No,
Stabile.
you said you're Anthony Stabile.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'd like to be Anthony Stabile for a day. Get that
You
out
doing
of
it
my
right?
ear.
Are you doing it right?
Race number 6. Big scratch of royal approval. I saw Wesley Ward yesterday, actually.
Doesn't count.
I'm just pointing out I saw Wesley.
Oh, okay.
It's nice to see him. So what are we doing here? Oh, we got Seth's horse on the outside. We have credit enhancement.
Yep.
I have no idea. I know nothing about this. Do you know anything about this horse?
Nope.
Okay.
No, I do not.
Actually, I picked him. Seth mentioned to me that he thought
I
he might
actually
be a
picked
runner.
this horse. Did you
Today,
pick
this
Royal
morning.
Approval?
No.
Oh, I picked Royal Approval and
I
scratched into
didn't
this
trust.
horse.
You weren't worried about coming back from England?
You know what I've
Kind of
noticed
thing
lately?
usually were. What have you noticed?
I've noticed that trainers have kind of figured out the Atlantic Ocean
Well, Wesley
return.
Ward certainly has, and he's done this before, and he's done it
The
successfully.
return.
So the weather
The
changed?
second start is where it's starting to get tricky now.
I'm going to check the weather. I'm
Okay.
not texting here.
The second
Yeah, we're
start
good to
is
go.
starting to get tricky. Yeah, the weather changed, right? It was supposed to be beautiful all weekend long, and now there's a chance of some rain today. We had some rain in the morning.
Did you see the text from Donnie I? It was very insulting. I think when he said nitwit, he was referring to you. I'm going to say
Oh, I
nitwit.
didn't see the text from him yet. In any event, I think they're having a little more trouble now with the second start.
We should have like that Twilight Zone music when Anthony starts one of these voodoo conversations.
serious.
Okay, get the stats and then tell us about it.
Here we go with the
Get
stats.
the stats. Without stats, I don't want to hear about what you think.
You know, not everybody is a stat obsessed.
I understand. People
Right.
who lose aren't stat. It's not stat obsessed. I don't want to hear I think. I don't want to hear the eye test. I want to hear things that are concrete.
Yeah, but don't you?
No, I want to hear the stats because you've come up with voodoo stats that we've looked up and they've been completely wrong.
Do you think Midnight Bijou ran better the other day?
Yeah. Was she?
Okay. Now hold on. I agree. I agree.
Give me a break.
I agree. Listen, I agree. She ran one of the fastest
That's
races
the
of her
most
life.
lame
Hold on a second.
horse you've come up
I'm
with.
asking the question. I want you to think about other.
I want to get on with this race and get
Go
on
ahead.
today's show. You and I just completely disagree
We do.
on the notion that you can just dream things up without looking at numbers. I don't want to hear it. You may be right. I just want to hear the numbers. I guess the two outside in this race, Grand Motion Source and Visible Spirit, might be a runner, a European pedigree. I know Army Wife, Mike Maker's winning a lot. Mike Maker's 2 for 38, 5% with 2-year-old first-time starters going 5 to 6.5 furlongs in the turf.
Don't you worry
For a
about the Euros? Don't you worry about the Euro pedigrees in the sprints?
Not in Visible Spirit, I don't. Not
Well, on
really.
a whole, I always worry about the Euro pedigree sprinting.
How many of them? What's your? You got some data on that one?
I think if you think about it, we see most of them go long.
I didn't like the horse that ran, the 7 Mad Maddie. I thought she got second by default last time out, kind of, because nobody else seemed to run in that race. You know, I had to leave Gary Gullo in there.
The kid,
I'm going to get Gary home.
That was 3
It's
to
the
5.
last thing I do.
That was you're stealing my gimmick with the.
I know.
with
I
the
like
banging,
that.
by the
I
way.
like that. It's not. You know,
I-
you didn't patent it.
Look, we both admittedly are guessing a little bit with the Chad Brown
We are.
firster. I think if
He's
you're
pretty
gonna,
good, though.
I think if you're going to guess, you almost have to include Maddie here. And I'm with you. She 3 seconds and 3. No shot. I'm picking a horse like her on top for the most part, but I think you have to. I also believe, she ran against the boys last time. That
I
out
just
of
think
door
she's
from
had so
Wesley
many
looked
chances,
like
though.
I'm not
She's had
disagreeing
so many
with you.
chances. I am not. I got her third by default.
Coming back quick too. Coming back quick
she just
too.
had
But
chances. She's a money burner.
okay, all right.
Don't like.
What about the other Wesley in here? Factoire.
I don't think
10
it's
to 1 more
Factoire.
in line. The Factor.
Yeah, no, I
Dan
know.
was 1 for 9. She was over 2 on the turf. One
Yeah.
Siblings, 1 on the turf.
I'm not discounting. There's some other pedigrees in this as well.
Yeah.
What about Tappan Success? It's half to a turf winner. The Dan was a pretty good horse, though she was a better dirt horse.
Dan with the Sibling was a stakes winner. I can't remember who it was now. I forgot to write it down.
Well, that's not helping anybody. That was a little lazy of you. You teased people, and you didn't give out the information.
Oh man, who was it?
Well, Anthony's thinking about who that was. We'll move on to race number
I
7.
can't remember now.
I thought race number 7 was a fun race. I guessed correctly with Anthony's top selection here, Daria's Angel, because nothing Anthony likes better than picking a horse that will be overbet that took advantage of a track bias. And that's like your strong suit. I got a stat on that. It's not good.
I'm sure it's not. When Stefan comes out of here, I kind of feel like Daria's Angel has just faced better and is more reliable than the rest of these. And I know she's going to be overbet. And I know she's going to be overbet for a barn that's hasn't run a lot of horses, not really winning at the percentage we're used to seeing them win at. But I think that'll change sooner rather than later. And I just trust her more than I trust the rest of them.
Okay. Isn't she going to have to deal with some speed from Keep Your Distance?
I can't imagine she's fast enough to be on the lead in here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I don't think she's impossible. I've got her third. This is a tough race. I like the 6 excess capacity. Last time out, I think there is an argument that the rail did get good. And maybe she was compromised by the fact that she was wide. Those were much, much better horses off the claim. And I think her last race showed that something just went wrong 2 races back when I liked her that day because she ran so well off the Cantor-Massey claim that I think she's back to her better races. I wish Irad wasn't on her, just not because Irad's not a great rider, but because he just takes more money than he should.
Right.
And there's so many good riders in the room. But I just thought she makes a lot of sense for a trainer that just seems to win. And he's particularly good with sprinters. And I think she may just be better than these horses. So I prefer her in here. But I don't ever want to dismiss Aren't You My Baby, who's got to be one of the coolest horses in racing.
Yeah, and, you know.
And it's the Notas, and all
Yeah.
their horses are running, 5 lengths better than they look on the past performances.
Yeah, and if she.
They are.
Now, this is one that lost during this run up here. But, she ran okay.
The run didn't start the first week. It revved up,
Right, it revved up.
a little later.
Yeah. Yeah. 1, 3.
You cannot leave Orlando Nota horses out. You just
Not
can't.
right now.
Well, you can in the Travers, but I think in races like this you can.
1, 3, 5. I mean, I'm. It's chalk.
What do you like
for
about
me.
Lady by Choice?
I don't know. She was a little
awful
interesting.
last time.
She wasn't good last time.
No, she was awful.
She was not good last time. Third start off a 4-month break. I don't know.
She had an unbelievable trip last
I know
time.
she did.
She
I know
was
she did.
pathetic.
I know. I had a tough time.
We have
with
a
this
visitor,
race. I had a tough
Anthony.
time with this race. Yeah, I had a tough time with this race.
This is an interesting
if
race.
Daria's
I
Angel,
agree.
I feel like of all of them, if Daria's Angel shows up, she has the races that can win. She has the
I don't agree
most
with that.
races that can win this race.
But
you
she's
know?
totally dressed up off a bias-aided win last time.
Yeah, I'm not just necessarily. I mean, hasn't she just run against better?
Sometimes.
And she's run against fillies that
Sometimes.
were in form. You know what I mean? Like she ran against fillies that were in form when they beat her. I don't know. I just think she's running good. I mean, what would you want? Well, I'll give you an example. What would you want on her way in this field?
Yeah, but
You know what I mean?
It's a different
I
situation.
mean, I'm not the biggest Anna Way fan, but I'm tapping out on Anna Way in this.
I
against
love
this
Anna
bunch.
Way.
I know you do.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, I'm tapping out on her against
Okay.
these horses. She's a couple of lengths behind her.
Okay. Your points are valid. You're not going to get a big argument from me.
Yeah.
Race number 8. I'm not going to say you made
It's the first
a great
time
point.
it's the first time for everything, I guess.
It's a tough race. But the problem I have with her, she's going to be a little overbet winning on a biased
I don't
racetrack.
disagree.
last time. That I don't like.
I
That
don't
for me
disagree.
is a problem.
Right.
In a competitive race.
And if you're like
I'm
me
saying
and you're
I
not
got
really-
her third. I'm not
And
wildly
if
against her.
you're
by any
like
stretch.
me and you're not really betting her off her last race, you're kind of giving
We're
up
looking
some-
at my track
yeah.
trends, which hurts me deeply in my core.
Which kind of you're giving up a little.
A little
price.
respect,
I
Anthony.
gotcha.
A little respect, okay? Race number 8. We'll take a look at Silky
I need more
Blue.
water.
Silky Blue was one of the most ridiculous overlays of all time last time out. She's got to stretch out to a mile, but she could be okay. I thought she ran fairly well in here, and she beat one of your favorite horses, Fresco. Came back with a big stakes winner in the next start. You want to comment, or you want to look at your phone?
I was looking at the Johnny I text.
He called
Yeah.
us nitwits. I'm done with Johnny I. He's
No,
finished.
he called you a nitwit.
No, he said nitwits. The implication would be that would be both of us. I was trying to stand up for you, and you just don't care.
Big effort last time, holding off Fresco, who came back to win the Stallion Series last couple of weeks ago.
Against that
Did not
stellar
fare
field.
to-
How
yeah,
would
against
that
those-
field do here?
Yeah. I don't know.
There's no knock.
There's no knock. She's just gonna be. She's going to be too short.
I wonder how much shorter than our horse she's really going to be, because the reality of this race is that if Giacosa runs her last race, she's probably supposed to be favored in here, because you know she can go longer, and she ran extremely well last time. This was a race last time out that was completely dominated by horses that had inside position. 1, 2, 3. Yet she was 3 wide on the first turn, 2, 3 wide on the second turn, 4 wide in the stretch. She was the only horse in that paceless race
Made up any ground.
arguably better horses that was making up ground and doing it while racing outside. If she runs back to her last race, which was a giant improvement off her maiden win, she's going to win this race in all likelihood, unless somebody runs really well. And maybe Silky Blue will take a big step forward. But she's not supposed to be 7-2. She's supposed to be 6-7 for 5 in this race. I'm not saying she's going to win, but on paper, she's about as close to a cinch as I think you can make a horse.
Yeah, you know what the funny thing is? You're saying that to me. We had one guy on Twitter agree with us. Yet, over the course of the last 2 days, I've had 3 people ask, this is how I know the picks went up Wednesday. I've had 3 people ask me how I didn't pick Silky Blue. And
I have those people muted.
No, not on Twitter.
I didn't see
not
them.
on Twitter, just like phone conversations.
Walking around town?
Just like on phone conversations. Like people who I talk to on a regular basis about
My mom asked
racing.
me actually why you didn't pick her.
I'm being serious. I'm trying to be serious for a minute. All of a sudden today, you're Seinfeld. You think you're
So
Seinfeld
you're
today.
assuming that the whole world is that Silky Blue is going to be a short price.
Yeah.
Maybe you're right.
Oh, yeah. I don't agree with having Amos a lower price than Giacosa.
I don't agree with the fact that the horse is not called Amos. That I don't agree with.
It's Amos. That's what I was told.
I know that's what you're told. I bet her last time. I still can't believe she lost the race. What a trip she had. She can win. I disagree with David on that as well. I think he's wrong. I think Giacosa is going to be a short price in here. I agree with you. Silky, I think that the 5 should be favored. I don't believe she will be. Don't get me wrong. I don't believe she will be favored, but I think she should be. I think she's a more likely winner. I really do. I thought her last race was very good.
I don't disagree with you.
And listen, I realize that a lot of these horses have not been winning. I've liked a lot. Some of them have. But the point is, I think on paper, based on her last race and watching her last race, she's supposed to be the horse to beat in here. Because the other thing is, you know she can go long. I'm not convinced the others want to go long.
And that's the other point with Silky Blue, and that was my.
She may go long, but her dam was a sprinter, and I don't have the evidence that she's going to be better going in 2 turns here. But it's only a mile, but it is 2 turns.
She got the Hearts one on top.
She can win. I mean, the 1 can win. I don't want anybody to think that I'm saying that Silky Blue can't win the race. I just think the 5 is actually a more likely winner of this race.
At what I think is going to be 2 or 3 times the probably. No. What do you think she's going to? What do you think Giacosa's going to be?
5-2, maximum.
And what do you think Silky Blue's going to be?
2-1. 8-5.
2-1.
What is so appealing about her that she's supposed to be a short price?
I think she's going to be hammered.
What price do you think she's going to be?
Under 3-2. I think she'll be 7-5, 6-5. People are going to see Fresco won the stakes.
Anybody that thinks that Fresco complimented this horse has got something in their Fresco.
I don't know what to tell.
They still make Fresco?
Yeah.
Do they? They make Tab?
I don't believe so.
Covering a lot of ground on today's show. The 9th race, the Saratoga Special, came up a really, really, really fun race. Let's look up the most accomplished horse, though Steve Adams has 2 in here. I was a little remiss. I should have the 10 higher. I kind of blew this. The 10 should be no worse than 3rd. I'm going to say it right now. Cazadoro, you know, I was talking about this horse with Nick Tamaro. We'll take a look at Cazadoro winning the Bashford Manor last time. Nick was saying how the workout reports that Jackie's Warrior is really blowing this horse, the favorite, off this Cazadoro away in workouts. But then Nick made a very interesting point to me. Maybe Cazadoro's not a good workout horse. Maybe that's why she was 5-1 in her debut. Maybe she's a horse that he is a horse that shows up in the afternoon but doesn't show up in the morning. He's been good, but I'm going to tell you something. His main competition in here, who thankfully lost at 8-1 in his next start, finished 2nd, got in trouble and did not run. But still, he's run well. But I think there may be new up-and-comers in here.
Horses that run as well as he has in his first 2 starts that work 39s usually are just better in the afternoon. So, yeah, I would agree with that point. He's probably just a lazy horse in the morning.
But you do have to account for the fact that 10 is outworking the horse in the morning. I mean, do you have to mention
I have them 1 too. Yeah, and I didn't know that. I'm not a workout report guy. I will always go back to if you watched Tonalist train for the Belmont Stakes, when Life in Shambles was drubbing him every morning in the workouts.
Well, Life in Shambles was a faster horse early.
Right, but
Life in Shambles, by the way, was pretty good back then.
He was. Right?
I mean,
it was before he became the stakes
But you're
horse.
saying that Life in Shambles, you say like he's some sort of bum.
No, but what I'm saying
he's
is
a horse
back
running
then-
mid-90 buyers.
No, back then he was a claiming horse. Back then is before. It's when Christoph had him. It was before he got good.
Don't agree. But anyway.
Okay.
We can
Anyway,
look it
what
up.
I'm trying to say is, I don't. I see where Nick's coming from. I just don't put a lot of.
No, Nick wasn't. Nick was just making a point to me, and it's a point of fact. The 10 blew the 6 away out of the
Right.
workouts.
I
That's
know.
a point of fact. And Nick's point was that maybe the 6 isn't a good morning horse.
Yeah.
And
Right,
that's
well, yeah,
the point he was making. It's
39,
not a, he made
49.
an opinion that's backed up by fact on a fact.
Yeah.
It's not a. He wasn't. He was making a
This
logical
horse is
point.
2 races. I
They're
know
okay.
They're
I don't think he's going to win the hopeful based on those races. But he seems to be
No.
okay. I think this is the kind of horse that's probably going to get passed as time goes on. And he may get passed by Jackie's Warrior or the Ride of a Lifetime. We'll take a look at Jackie's Warrior being the Ride of a Lifetime. And you have to say that Jackie's Warrior was complimented by the fact that the Ride of a Lifetime came back and ran a gigantic race in his next race at Keeneland. I'm going to say that I think the Ride of a Lifetime needed the first start and improved a lot at Keeneland. And I prefer the Ride of a Lifetime. I think this horse might be very, very, very good.
It certainly looked like he just ran much better second
he ran
time out.
Huge second time.
Yeah, he was huge second time out. I like the fact that Cazadero was kind of able to turn off last time. After setting the pace in his debut, he was just kind of able to sit there.
That was a
Ricardo
bad
asked
field
him.
last time.
I don't
That was a
disagree.
bad
I don't
field last
disagree with it, but I think you have to like the fact that in just the second start, he was able to sit there. He asked him, and he ran.
I don't know. I think he ran fine. I also think he got a perfect trip against a mediocre field, and he may. I've got him second. This is not a horse I'm against, but I'm not convinced on Cazadero. I think he's getting a much. Would you agree he's getting a significantly sterner test?
He got a
today?
big test today.
This is a
Because
strong
there's a
field.
couple of those
Right.
2 outside horses.
They both could be good. The problem I had with Jackie's Warrior, and I should have had him third, to be fair, and no worse than third, is that Steve Ashton's record with 2-year-olds winning their first debuts and coming back and winning their second start is not good. Now, that may be a feather in Cazadero's cap. I thought Papa 2 was a little interesting. I think the question is what you do with Momos, who's coming back for Christophe Clement. My feeling, track was playing speedy. This horse had everything his own way. I won't be shocked if he runs well, but this is a much, much tougher race. And I think Christophe's finding out early just where he really does stand.
Imagine if it rained for him.
No, why should I imagine
Look at that one from
The
Momos.
Tomlinson.
Whew.
You talked about the Tomlinsons on Twitter the other day.
480.
Anthony
for a
Stabile
son of
is a
Tonalist.
closet lover of the Tomlinson
480
figures.
for a son of Tonalist. The horse paid $100 at Ellis Park.
How'd you not have it?
Unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
People yelling at me on Twitter about how I should have pointed out before the race, like I bet the horse.
You'd be lying on a beach drinking flaming Mai Tais and enjoying the races in Saratoga Live
I
without
haven't
having to
had
put up
one
with me.
I haven't had one flaming Mai Tai yet. That's terrible. We'll have to remedy that
a
when I
long
come
meet.
back. Yeah, it is a long.
Interesting running of this race. What about Papa 2 on the rail? I thought that horse ran okay last time.
Meet. Yeah.
How about that? They got a 7-horse field for a 2-year-old allowance race at Gulfstream in July. When's the last time that happened anywhere?
Well, they put the optional tag in.
Still.
Yeah.
A 2-year-old allowance race. Last one I remember in New York was Warpass winning one up here. Who did he beat?
Was that the last? That's 07.
I don't know if it's the last one, but it feels like it. Who did Warpass beat in that race?
I don't recall.
Same horse who was second to him at 30-1 in the Champagne, and I crushed that exacta.
Who was that?
Good horse. Pyro.
Oh,
I don't
Steve
know if
Esmond.
Pyro ran
Winchell and
second up
Steve
here,
Esmond.
but he had a trip. By the
Wow.
way,
Remember when do you remember when the jocks used to take the helicopter after they'd run the 2-year-old allowance races? Henny Hughes and First Samurai and all those horses would meet up here, and then they would fly down for the Haskell to Monmouth. Take the plane into the helicopter. I remember when he used to card
anybody
those
that took a
races
helicopter that far is a stronger stomach
Well,
than I do.
or a
There's a
small
lot of things I'm
plane.
going to do. The only way I would take a helicopter is if I was escaping some sort of
Maybe a small
you know,
plane.
disaster.
Remember that day?
I don't. Race
Bailey,
number
Jerry
10.
Bailey, Pat Day.
I believe you, but I believe you. I just don't remember. Race number 10 is like a Jackson Pollock painting. I mean, it's just a mess, right? I mean, you feel like this race is so all over the place. I mean, there's
See
nothing.
who I picked in here?
I picked him second.
My
I
arch
her second.
nemesis.
I agree. Your buddy Ray Handel, yeah.
The chaos of this race has made
I
strange
think you,
bedfellows.
Ray, and I should have dinner this meet.
I would love to do that.
Yeah, that would be fun.
He is. What's his? How many races has he won? Oh, he's definitely
paying?
He's definitely getting the check.
I'm
Oh,
sure
yeah.
Ray's a gentleman. I'm
Yeah,
sure he'd be
yeah.
happy. I'm not going to let him pay, but I'd be happy to.
He's won more races than us combined at the meet.
Ray's having a great meet.
He is.
He's a good trainer. He's a good guy.
First as a runner
we like to
now,
make fun
too.
of him, but we both
Yeah,
like Ray,
both
and we
like
both
Ray.
have a great respect for him as a trainer.
Absolutely.
Morale Claus is interesting. I mean, he's running against. She's running. I keep saying he, she. She's running against considerably worse horses than she's ever run against.
I mean,
I'm with you.
You can go through this card, and if you can find more class relief for anybody running here, you're a better person, better handicapper than
Let's
me.
go through this race quickly. Yasmin S is 0 for 21. You're going to be shocked when she runs well in this race?
No.
Cutting back, maybe 5.5 is perfect for her. Tilsa, I'm not dying to take the Jonathan Thomas horses, but this horse is running against better horses. Maybe she will like the cutback. And Jonathan Thomas, for what it's worth, is 5 for 20, 25%, $1.97 ROI, cutting back on turf sprint. So he's done well with that. Tesserino, I'm just guessing there's a reason they bet her in her first 2 starts. Is Wesley Ward, she's off a layup. And maybe, as you like to say, maybe she'll get in front of these.
Yeah. Blinkers come off.
She's a horse that's funny in the pace projector. She's projected to be way back in this field, but obviously it's hard to really judge who she is because she ran so badly, though she may just absolutely stink. The 5 dipping in, you think she's impossible dropping down for Doug O'Neill?
I got a 4th.
Right,
like
she's
you.
not impossible. I mean, Yellen, I don't really like Yellen, but I picked a Wesley Ward horse that might not be able to run. She didn't run terribly last time. Morale because the 8's a little tough to make. The 9's a little tough to make in here. And you've got a Chad Brown first-time star on the outside that might just win because none of them are any good in here.
Came very close, very, very close to the default button here for that.
Can't pick this horse. There's too many more interesting horses in this race that'll be better prices. You have to use the 10, but I don't think you want to pick this horse. And this race is just a big mess.
I'd like to be closing to 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10.
I'd like to be closing for a gigantic pick 5 score with all, but that's just me.
I put myself in that position earlier in the meet. I did.
Favorite win?
No, one of the better results, Control Group. When Control Group won, I hit it a couple of times.
Control Group was
I hit it a
favorite.
few times. He was second choice that day to the bad shipper. The shipper I did not like that ran. That was when the track was all speed, and they just ran 1, 2, 3 around the track. He beat the shipper. Mills was third, and I needed Eden Ridge.
Excited for tomorrow?
I needed Eden Ridge for 30,000.
You excited for tomorrow?
Yeah,
Big
of
day.
course. Early start. Time we on tomorrow? 10:30.
I think we're going to do Talking Horses right now that we're done here. 10:35 for Talking
Okay.
Horse tomorrow. I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you. You're just a wealth of information.
Early start tomorrow.
10:35 Talking Horses. First post is 12. I believe that Zero Live starts at 11:30. But once again,
Run Happy Travers.
we'll tell you where you can
6:15.
go to find that out. The first thing you've got to do, though, think of how much fun you just had. I mean, seriously.
Where are you going to get? Where are you going to have
Like
more
more
entertaining
fun than a
45
frog in a
minutes?
glass of milk?
I don't know.
Do you know what Sunday is, by the way?
Sunday.
25th anniversary of Jerry Garcia's death.
You know the night he died, a horse at Yonkers Raceway, one named Cherry Garcia, named after the ice cream flavor. And the next week in the sports side, the short comment was for Jerry.
That's nice. That's nice. I was listening to my favorite.
Dennis
I was
Laterza,
listening
I
to
think,
my
trained.
favorite Dead show that I went to this morning, October 12th, 1984, in Augusta, Maine. I think you should listen to that tonight. I think it'll change your life.
Hard pass.
If you are not a member of Ira Bets, good time to sign up. Anytime's a good time to sign up. We'll match the $200 your initial bonus, your initial deposit. Use the promo code SPA. Go to NIRABets.com. Support racing in New York. Also, once you've joined NIRABets, you can participate in the many great promotions, like through the app only, a $5 bonus. If you bet 25 or more to win on the 10th today, the last race, and the 4th at Del Mar. Also, want to let people know, Sunday, assuming nobody hits today and tomorrow, will be a giant carryover, maybe about $1.5 million. Mandatory payout in that jackpot this coming Sunday. Also this coming Sunday, the Sunday contest on Naira Bets. Must be a member of Naira Bets. Yet another reason to sign up. The reasons are just pouring in. $250 buy-in, all cash prizes, live money, $250, $2,500 seated pool as well this Sunday and all Sundays for the rest of the meet. Register now at Naira.com/challenge. Also, finally, last and not least, Saturday Live. Every day, all day. Go to Naira.com/Saturday Live to get the daily schedules of what networks we will be on. Any final parting words you want?
Tonight, when either catch the second half live or listen in podcast
After
form.
you've listened to 10, 12, 84.
Weekend Stakes Preview presented by Naira Bets on HRRN, Sirius 219, XM 201. Stream at livehorse-racing-radio.net or listen in podcast form. Bobby Newman and I have 14 stakes races, including the Run Happy Travers and the Run Happy Ellis Park Derby from Ellis Park. The last 2 races on the road to the Kentucky Derby.
All right. Yeah, the Ellis Park Derby. I mean, that's the race, right?
Art Collector taking on a dozen.
And not coming for the Travers.
But not coming for the Travers.
Right. You wouldn't want to try to win a grade 1. Anyhow.
Path of least resistance, my friend.
The game. John Imbrial, a man I still respect despite his bad behavior this morning.
His hurtful
the voice
comments.
of New York racing up next in the reprise. The scratches and changes.